If you've been on the internet for any period of time, the chances of coming across an image that makes you feel sort of strange is highly likely. I'm not talking about images that were created specifically to be scary, but images that have some sort of uncanny quality about them. Take this image, for example, of a man in glasses laying on a hardwood floor. He has what looks to be clusters of peas in his eyes, nose, and mouth. It also looks like there are some on the floor around him as well. Images like this are exactly what I'm talking about. There's nothing inherently scary about it, generally speaking, at least. I mean, the photo has been taken in bright lighting, there's nothing creepy lurking in the background or any signs of danger, per se. But despite the absurdity of the photo, it looks like the man could be suffocating or struggling to breathe against the peas that are invading his body. This image has gone on to spawn a number of different memes and even fan art, but where does it come from? If you visit knowyourmeme.com, you will not only find the original image in high resolution, but also the name of the image, which is Pleased to Meet You. It turns out the photograph was originally posted on September 25th, 2021 by photographer Jeff Mermelstein. And this isn't the only food-related photograph that Jeff has taken. This one with peas is actually a part of a series of food-related self-portraits that have all been posted to Jeff's Instagram. Like this one of carrots or this one with grapes. After seeing these, they don't really evoke the same feeling that the peas photograph does. With most of his food selfies, there is a feeling of playfulness, whereas with the peas, it almost seems like Jeff was involuntarily put in this position in front of the camera. After being posted, the image spread through Twitter and iFunny. It even went viral through Reddit's r/hmm in mid-2022. Some people who have viewed the image have described it as it appears as though Jeff is, in fact, stuffed with peas and they are leaking out of him as opposed to going into him. Regardless, I think it would be accurate to describe the image as oddly disturbing.
Here's another image that fits this description. Does anyone else remember this picture? It shows a girl sitting in a chair. She's wearing a watermelon shirt, and it looks like her head has been replaced by some sort of hollowed out watermelon. It's been carved out to form the neck and head of a person. The eyes are grapes, and it looks like she's wearing some kind of orange earrings and a necklace. The entire image is very uncanny, and is known to some as the watermelon humanoid. It's hard to put into words as to why this image is so unsettling. The watermelon face looks like it's smiling, and not even in a creepy way. In fact, if this was an actual person, I think they would be quite polite. The image was supposedly first discovered in 2005 on Ziza.ru, a Russian website. Unfortunately, aside from this estimation, the origin date of this image is unknown. There's lots of results reverse searching the image, but the earliest I could find is this 2010 post to Flickr, 5 years after the image's debut on the Russian website. As most of the comments on this image have mentioned, I don't think I'll ever look at a watermelon the same way again.
Just a quick side note, when I'm doing research for videos like this, I visit a lot of different websites. I just got a notification the other day actually that in the last 7 days, Safari has prevented 72 trackers from profiling me. I realize that I'm sort of looking for trouble with the kind of work that I do, but what a lot of people don't know is that even if you're just a casual internet user, your information is just as unsafe. And frankly, the idea of someone getting a hold of my personal information scares me. You know, my bank account, my credit card, my social security, anything like that. So that's why I started using today's sponsor, Aura, as a means of protection. Aura monitors things like the dark web and will alert me if any of my personal information is leaked. They also provide up to $5 million in identity theft insurance in case something really bad were to happen. Aura also identifies data brokers who sell your information and immediately submits an opt-out request on your behalf. Not to mention, they also have other features like a military-grade VPN to offer you even more protection. If you want to sleep better at night knowing that your information is secure, you can visit the link in the description below. That's www.aura.com/something sinister and try the first 14 days absolutely free. And thank you so much to Aura for sponsoring this video. So I have history with this picture. When I was a kid and too young to stay home by myself, I would go to work with my dad. One of his co-workers had this monstrosity set as his desktop computer background, and I remember looking down every time I walked past it because it freaked me out. As an adult, it's definitely not as bad, but there's certainly a level of uncanny valley to it. We have what appears to be the outline of a man's face with a woman's pigtails. The facial features are the worst part though. The eyes are dark and definitely sourced from something that is not human, perhaps an animal or something like that. The smile is made up of gums and jagged teeth, similar to a chimpanzee. The photo itself is simply known as Creepy Ugly Guy, which is a pretty accurate description. If you've seen this image before, there's a good chance that it popped up as a jump scare in some early YouTube videos. I couldn't find a concrete date that the image was posted, but some say it could have been as early as 1996. It turns out the photo is a mishmash of stock photos. The base of the figure is this guy right here. It's pretty easy to see given the same chin and jaw structure. Both images even share the same earring on the right ear. The pigtails and hair come from this image of a girl frowning or doing a lip thing. But what about the eyes and the mouth? The dark eyes and uncanny smile are arguably what make this image disturbing in the first place. Well, unlike the two stock photos of the man and the woman, there has been no concrete answer as to where the eyes and mouth have come from. The idea is that the eyes and mouth belong to a chimpanzee, but it's just a guess. Honestly, I don't know what else it could be though. When looking at images of chimpanzees online, the eyes are unmistakably similar and the mouth is pretty spot on as well. But as I mentioned before, the image could have come from as early as 1996. This is before things like Photoshop and face swap were the norm, so what program could have created this? In the late 90s and early 2000s, there existed an application known as Kai's Power. This software allowed users to take stock photos and warp them however they liked. Two of the stock photos commonly used were of the girl and the man. So while it's highly likely that this photo was created with Kai's Power, we are still left with a lot of questions. Who made this image, and when exactly did it surface on the internet? These questions have yet to be answered.
If you've been on YouTube for a while, chances are you remember seeing this monstrosity in the thumbnail for the video, Why Are Things Creepy? From Vsauce. It shows a teddy bear plush with one striking feature, a full set of 32 adult teeth. The image itself is very unsettling, combining two elements that don't belong together. The fur of the teddy bear is soft and comforting, while the teeth in its mouth are cold and rigid. The combination of these two things make for an image that is oddly terrifying. But this image isn't the first and only of its kind. When doing research on this teddy bear with human teeth, I uncovered a whole bunch of stuffed animals with the same striking feature. I decided to do some reverse image searching and was taken to this Facebook post from the user Meow Wolf. Meow Wolf is an art exhibit in Las Vegas. As their caption states, dentist office stuffed animals meant to educate kids about dental hygiene. The two photos accompanying this are as uncanny as it gets. The one on the left is a bear with missing teeth in its mouth, and the one on the right is a fish with big blue eyes and a smile that you might see in your nightmares. As it turns out, Meow Wolf is absolutely correct. Pediatric dentist offices have often employed the help of stuffed animals with teeth in an effort to educate children on proper brushing techniques. In a lot of these photos, you can even get a glimpse of the comically large toothbrushes that accompanies the stuffed animals. It could be some sort of Mandela effect, but I can remember seeing one of those teddy bears at my dentist growing up. I hope for the sake of all the kids getting their teeth cleaned, that someone realized these things are absolutely terrifying.
Speaking of images from early YouTube, I distinctly remember seeing this pixelated photo of a two-legged horse. It was part of a Try Not to Laugh challenge, which were very popular on the platform at the time. In the video, the horse can be seen running to the song Chacaron by El Chambo. This song was utilized heavily in early YouTube days, especially with Try Not to Laugh videos like this. That's all the video is, just 30 seconds of the horse doing this. When stumbling across the image online recently, it brought back that feeling of fear that I had once experienced. It's a little embarrassing to say, especially given that the video in particular was supposed to be funny, but I just didn't get it. Of course, the image itself is odd. It's a horse with no body and two legs. It runs like a person or some sort of bipedal animal. But why did I think it was scary? In the early days of YouTube, I feel like it was easy to stumble across something strange and unexplainable. This two-legged horse being one of them. It's not a video that you seek out, but instead a video that finds you. I clicked on it out of curiosity, and by the end of the video, I was left feeling confused and a little weird. Almost like having a dream that you have no control of, and waking up with the thought, why did I do that? I tried finding the origin of this image, only to find that this video in particular, to a T, was uploaded and re-uploaded multiple times throughout the late 2000s and early 2010s. The most popular version of it being uploaded in December of 2007. This upload in particular has over 60 million views. After reading through some of the comments, some people have expressed being afraid of the video as well. In 2025, the image and video have been turned into a popular high-res GIF, and while the original artist is unknown, speculators point to 4chan as the image's origin.
The following flyer reads, "Would you know if you were dreaming right now?" We are then given 3 options labeled as A, B, and C. A tells us to check our watch or a nearby clock. B says to look somewhere else. And C tells us to look at the watch or the clock again. Text below says if you are inside a dream, your watch will display a completely different time. The flyer displays a Sheffield City Council logo. This image has frightened many Redditors across the forum site. Some have found it comical, while others have become fearful that they are not operating in reality, but instead asleep or in some sort of a simulation. When I saw this flyer for the first time, I was definitely off-put by its odd message, and had to know where it came from. There's a theory that states the flyer is a guide to lucid dreaming, which is the process of becoming aware that you are dreaming while you are asleep. In this state, you more or less have control of the dream itself. While I think this theory is interesting, I don't necessarily buy it. I think it's especially weird that the Sheffield City Council would have their name on something like a lucid dreaming guide. Given the Sheffield location, many have assumed the flyer to be an art piece, as the Sheffield art scene is known for having surrealist movement. But when researching these theories, I came across this document. The top of it reads, Scarfolk Council. The text beneath it tells us that Scarfolk is a town in northwest England that did not progress beyond 1979. Because of this, the town is trapped in a time loop set in the 1970s. We are then shown a number of strange flyers. Take for example, this government self-support poster from 1971. The text reads, "Feel hopeless and abandoned, like you're going mad? Don't worry, let us reassure you that everything you're feeling is completely justified and proves you have fully comprehended the true severity of this situation. Be proud of your keen insights, but be aware that we cannot offer support to people of inferior value. Keep it to yourself. Discontent is contagious." Or what about this blank black flyer that reads, "For more information, please reread." As you might have guessed, these flyers are not real, and instead fictional pieces from writer Richard Littler as a means of commentating on Britain at the time. While the Sheffield City Council is not on this list, it is very reminiscent of it. I think it is highly likely that it was made by someone in the vein of the Scarfolk flyers, or by someone who just wanted to scare people.
Unlike the Sheffield City Council flyer, this image of a goat in a bedroom might not actually exist, at least in a traditional sense. This unsettling photograph shows a black goat with long horns standing in the doorway of a bedroom. There appears to be some sort of big dollhouse on the left of the photograph. The image as a whole gives off the feeling of being liminal. I've seen it among other photos of liminal spaces, but this one in particular is off-putting. The earliest trace of this photo I could find dates back to 2019. It's a post on Pinterest. Many of the people in the comments express fear when seeing the image, while some compare the goat to Black Phillip from the movie The Witch. The photo has since gone on to be the subject of many memes, like this one that reads, "Your chances of being killed by a goat are low, but never zero." When doing a reverse image search, I came across this obscure movie called Horror, which was released in 2003. When looking at some of the stills from the movie, I came across this one, which shows a very similar looking goat standing in the doorway of a room. There even looks to be the edge of a blanket on the left-hand side of the frame. Regardless, I can't confirm that these are the same room, but there does seem to be a striking resemblance between the two. In a similar fashion, this oddly disturbing image shows a long-haired cat sitting on top of a bedroom dresser. The cat is staring off, almost as if it is locking eyes with someone coming in through the bedroom doorway. The cat is lit ominously, its shadow being casted upon the wall behind it. There's nothing particularly menacing about the cat. It's not hissing or showing any signs of anger, but the humanistic way in which it is sitting is very off-putting. It's almost like the cat has been waiting for us to arrive into the room. The image can be found on Reddit from poster Rare Plantain 1030. In 2024, Plantain posted this string of images to the r/weird subreddit. In the 4 images, we can see the cat sitting in various different angles, with 3 of them being the aforementioned bedroom dresser. This post has caused many Redditors to form theories that the cat is a djinn or a skinwalker. But this isn't the case. The cat's name is Lady Storm, and she even has her own Instagram account. Here she can be seen sitting in various different poses, and even some that are typical for your average house cat. These make Lady's original photo seem a lot less disturbing. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video, and a huge shout out to Casey Valentine for giving me a hand with it. A link to his channel will be down in the description below.